Pre-order my book American Evil in the description below. Palworld has announced that they are releasing 30 new Pokemon. Oh, I'm sorry, Pals in the new DLC update. They're having an entire new island to explore, and they're going to have a bunch more content, and nobody cares. There is no recovery for Palworld at this stage, right? We are getting the first major update I think since launch, right? We're getting like the first major update, like major changes to the game, major updates, and yet nobody is really talking about Power World at all, unless it's to make fun of them for ripping off Alolan Ninetales with their like Ice Fox thing, right? It's like a weird mashup between like Alolan Ninetales and Glaceon. Like again, it's pretty blatant. It's obvious. Everyone's pointing this out, but Pocket Pair is still doing this. They're still trying to make Power World a thing, right? Trying to pretend as if they can viably compete with Pokemon while blatantly ripping them off. It's disgusting, right? But I do take solace in the fact that the game has completely fallen off and has no real hope of recovery, right? They can do whatever they want with the game. They can like update it, um, however they can like make changes to it. The reality is, the hype period is over, right? The people who like jumped on board to try and like uh, attack Pokemon and disregard Nintendo and pretend they were on the way out. Those people are gone now, right? There is going to be no real recovery for Power World, and I think like the Pokemon community as a whole really resents that period because I'm kind of shocked. Like it feels like the people who are most like angry about Power World, the people who talk about it the most, they are Pokemon fans who had to deal with like retards trying to tell them that, like, actually, Pokemon ripped off Dragon Quest, which isn't true at all, like at all. But you had like complete retards, like just pushing that narrative, like just that brain dead take to try and like justify Power World's existence, right? It was one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen. And I still find myself very frustrated with just how many people went along with it. Like it felt like every major YouTuber, every major VTuber was coming out and like trying to shill for Power World in those first 2 weeks when it was like the flavor of the week, right? Yeah, we're past like the whole flavor of the month thing. People used to like pretend things like Power World were like the greatest thing ever for like a month, right? And then they would be completely forgotten. Now it's like 2 weeks. Like we're past like the flavor of the month crap. We're like flavor of the 2 weeks, And Power World just felt like just fell off like immediately. And Pocket Pair cannot hope to stay relevant. They cannot hope to stay competitively viable by simply releasing more and more content for a game that isn't maintaining a player base, right? That isn't monetized, that they don't have a battle pass yet. So like I am very curious as to like at what point they're just gonna abandon Power World, right? And I do think this is another issue they're gonna have is that like they are never ever ever going to repeat like Power World's success, right? The reality was it was like a flash in the pan thing, and they don't have the resources or the ability or the skill to like follow up on that with like a new ripoff of another Nintendo property, right? Like all they can do is just do the same thing they've always done, and that is going to lead them into financial ruin.